Sigmund Freud. Most of you might have heard of him. He's a super famous person in psychology. But the fun fact is that he was not even a psychologist. He was a neurologist. But he developed many theories and concepts in psychology. Let's look into history and see, from being a neurologist, how he developed the theories and concepts in psychology. It all began with the case of Anna. She was a patient of Dr. Joseph Brewer. So she came to the doctor with a case of hysteria. Hysteria is a condition where the patient exhibits physical symptoms such as loss of speech, paralysis, hallucinations, etc. But in the case of Anna, there were no physical cause detected. Dr. Brewer was the teacher of Freud. He was also a friend of his. On further discussions with Anna, it became apparent to Dr. Brewer that Anna had developed a fear of drinking when a dog that she hated drank from her glass. Her other symptoms originated from an incident relating to her father's sickness. She never expressed her anxiety for her father's illness in the past. She had always suppressed it. Later on, Dr. Brewer helped her make these unconscious thoughts conscious. Once all these were made conscious, the paralysis disappeared. Later on, Dr. Brewer discussed all these with Sigmund Freud, and thus began Sigmund Freud's interest in psychology. And there began the journey of Sigmund Freud. From the time between 1900 and 1905, Sigmund Freud developed the topographical model of mind. In this, he describes three levels of mind: the conscious mind, the preconscious mind, and the unconscious mind. So what are all these? The conscious mind. The conscious mind consists of thoughts that we are aware of at the moment. These are the thoughts that we are paying attention to right now. The next one is preconscious mind. The contents or thoughts in preconscious mind can be retrieved through memory. We are not aware of them right now, but we are able to retrieve them from our memory. The third level is the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind consists of thoughts and concepts that are unknown to us. It is said that we can retrieve these thoughts or concepts only through dreams and a concept called Freudian slip. Freudian slip is also known as parapraxis. It is basically an instance where our tongue slips and reveals an unconscious aspect of our mind. In 1923, Sigmund Freud developed the psychoanalytical theory of personality. According to this theory, there are three components of mind. Those are id, ego, and superego. According to this theory, human behavior is formed as a result of the interaction between these three components, that is, id, ego, and superego. Id, ego, and superego are not physical parts of the brain, but instead these are different components of the mind. Id is the component of a mind that works on the basis of pleasure principle. That is, if there is something that provides pleasure to the id wants it immediately. It doesn't look into other factors like whether it is right or wrong or any other consequences. If it wants something, it wants it immediately. An example of it is that if a person with an ice cream passes nearby and the id in me wants the ice cream, I would just grab it. I wouldn't look into any other factors. I want it, I grab it immediately. This is what the id do. If you want to see an id in action, just look at a baby. Id is the prominent component of mind that works in a baby. The next component of the mind is the superego. The superego works on the basis of morality principle. That is, superego works on the basis of morals, principles, norms, rules, etc. that are set by the society and are taught by the society and parents to the kid or the particular individual. Let's look into the example of ice cream. In this case, superego will think that the ice cream doesn't belong to me, it is not right to grab someone else's ice cream, the other person has paid for it, so the other person has the right to eat it and I don't have any right to grab someone else's ice cream. So this is what happens in the case of superego. In this case of ice cream, there are two components of mind that are active, the id and superego. The id and superego wants two different things, two extreme things, and thus there occurs a conflict between these two. Here comes the role of ego. While the id behaves on pleasure principle and superego works on morality principle, the ego works on reality principle. The ego basically solves the conflicts between the id and superego. It works in a way that satisfies both the id and superego. Let's take the example of ice cream here. The id wants the ice cream immediately and superego prohibits it because it is not right. There occurs a conflict between id and superego here. In this case, the conflict between these two is resolved by the ego. The ego decides to go and buy a ice cream for himself. Thus, the id is satisfied and the superego is also satisfied. The id, ego and superego will be explained in detail in the coming videos. The link to those videos will be provided in the description box below.